Hey guys, Adam from Luxury, and I've had a lot of customers reaching out to me and asking me how to enable Super Cruise, how to use it and everything like that. So I wanted to get into this car and show you really quick. One of the more interesting things is that there's actually 3, possibly even 4 different types of cruise control. Let's get inside the car and I'll show you how to do it. Okay guys, so here we are in the car, and I want to go over a couple of things real quick so that you understand exactly what I'm talking about when we are talking about the different cruise control systems in the Cadillac CT5. Now, this should be basically the same across all the different Cadillacs currently in 2026, but I'm just going to go over them really fast because they might change a little bit. So here at the top, we have the actual Super Cruise kind of like bar, if you will. That's where it's going to be red, blue, or green. Red means that the system is not active. It wants you to take over, do the steering and everything like that. Blue means that it's trying to activate, but it hasn't, the vehicle's not quite centered in the lines yet. And then green means that the system is active and that it's going to be doing the driving for you. Now, I have this other camera right here because I'm hoping that it'll actually pick up what I'm doing on the steering wheel when we're talking about the various different cruise control settings. If it doesn't, well, then I've got photos I'll kind of overlay or do both. But like I mentioned before, there are 3 different cruise control settings that you can do with the Cadillacs, and actually you might even be able to call it 4 different cruise control settings. So it gets a little bit confusing, and I just wanted to do this video to try and clear it up. So I'm on the highway right now, and I'm going to go ahead and we're going to start off in the simplest cruise control. I'm just going to set it to, well, actually, real quick, let me back up because I haven't gone over all the systems yet. So this switch right here, this is how I'm going to either resume or set my cruise control. If I toggle this switch down, that is set. If I push it up, that is resume, or up for increased speed, down for decreased speed. Very simple. Then off to either side of the switch, I have cruise control on or cruise control off. However, the cruise control off button is what you're going to press and hold to turn on adaptive cruise control, and that's very, very important, which we'll cover later on in the video. Off to the right of that toggle switch, the up-down, is your adaptive cruise control distance. So currently right now, I'll take a picture of it, but the gap is at the maximum amount of gap. It's 3 car lengths in front of me. If I want to decrease the gap or increase the gap, I press the button, and then I press it again, and then I press it again. Now I'm at 1 car length. But for safety reasons, I want the maximum amount of gap, so I'm gonna go ahead and reset it back to 3. Now we have the maximum amount of car gap. Okay, so down to the lower right-hand side on this silver button right here is my Super Cruise button. The Super Cruise button, or Super Cruise, will not work unless adaptive cruise control is turned on. Again, we'll get into that here in just a second. I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna set just regular cruise control, and then I'm gonna show you how you know you're in regular cruise control. So I'm gonna turn Super Cruise off, and then I'm gonna go ahead and set cruise. So it says adaptive cruise control on right now. So I want it off. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to press and hold this button. Now it'll actually pop up and say regular cruise selected, which is great. That's what I want. I want regular cruise selected. There might be some people out there, I'm actually one of these people, where I don't really want adaptive cruise control. If I'm going to run into the back end of somebody, then so be it. And that is what the differences are. Regular cruise control, it will maintain the speed no matter what. Adaptive cruise control is reading and seeing how far the car is out, another car is out in front of you. And then if you have it set to 65 and they're doing 60, it will slow the car down, it will match the speed, and it will not go faster than the car in front of you. Now, how is that different than Super Cruise? Super Cruise, if you have the correct setting turned on, which again, I'll get into that here in a second, will actually pass the car for you and then get back over into the lane. Or if you initiate the pass with the turn signal, it will pass it and then you have to initiate it to get back over. Again, we'll go over that here in just a second. So now, if you're in regular cruise control and you want to turn on adaptive cruise control, what you will do now, and how you'll know is it'll actually just tell you right on the screen whether or not adaptive cruise control is on. I'm going to go ahead and press and hold the cancel cruise button again. So now cruise control is off while I'm doing that, but now it says adaptive cruise selected. So I'm going to go ahead and hit resume, and it'll tell you what the adaptive cruise control is set to, which is 65. So it's speeding up. Now, if I have a car that is in front of me and it is going slower than I am, it will match the speed. It will not pass the car. You are the one that has to pass the car. Okay, so now I am going to enable Super Cruise. Now, with your adaptive cruise control on, what you're going to do is you're going to press the Super Cruise button. It's going to have you put your hands on the steering wheel. You're going to wait for the light to go green, and now you can take your hands off the steering wheel and just enjoy the drive. Now, while you are in this mode, there's a little bump on the steering wheel column that is a camera. It's going to be watching you to make sure that you're paying attention. If you do not have a green bar right here or the green steering wheel right there, and it's blue, well then you're not centered in the lane yet, and so it will not activate until you are centered in the lane. If you have nothing, if you're pressing the button and it's not working, you probably don't have adaptive cruise control on. So you have to have adaptive cruise control on first, then Super Cruise will work. That's why sometimes I get calls from customers. They say, hey, my adaptive cruise does not work. What's going on? Oh, and we actually just had to do a lane change for us. The car in front of me is going a little bit slower than I am. So what it did was it decided that it was going to do a lane change for me, but now we just moved right back over because maybe the car in front of us sped up a little bit, you know. So it's smart, it's intelligent, it's reading what's happening in front of it, and then it is going ahead and adapting to that. Now, before I brought up that there might possibly be 4 different cruise control settings, and what did I mean by that? Well, what I mean by that is that in the settings menu of the Cadillac, you can actually have it set to where Super Cruise will pass vehicles for you, or you can have it set to where it will not do it unless you hit the turn signal stalk. So what will happen then is it will act like adaptive cruise control, where it'll just match the speed of the car in front of you, and it'll just maintain that speed until you actually turn on the blinker. It's going to watch and see if there's anything to the side of you in your blind spot zones or anything like that, and then it will get over to the other lane. It will speed back up to the speed that you previously set your cruise control to, and then when you have finished passing the car, what you do is you just take the turn signal and then bump it up, and then it's going to read and look on the right side of the vehicle to make sure there's nothing over there, and then it'll get back over, it'll turn the turn signal off. Now, something to be aware of is that the system will a lot of times have you take back over control of the wheel. A lot of those times it's in construction zones. So you'll feel your seat vibrate, it will alert you, there'll be a flashing red bar right here letting you know that you are in control now and that you are the one that has to take over the wheel. And that is when you're going to have no assistance whatsoever. It will also do that for exit ramps or, you know, something like of that nature, where if you're in an exit lane and you're going to be taking a ramp, sometimes it'll kick the system off and have you take over control. How do you get out of Super Cruise? Well, you can do it in kind of the rough way, which is you just grab the steering wheel and kind of take control, and then it will remain active, but it'll let you do whatever you want it to do. You can hit the button and now Super Cruise control is off, or you can just simply tap the brake and that'll turn everything off, right? Okay, so what I'm gonna do now is I changed the camera angle because I want you guys to see a little bit more of what it looks like when I'm actually driving and what it looks like for Super Cruise to be passing a vehicle. So I'm going to get up to speed here, and then I'm going to intentionally set it just a little bit faster so that you can see what it looks like. Okay, so I turned on Super Cruise and we are going. I'm going to go ahead and increase speed. And so it has matched, it's now currently matched the speed of the car in front of me. And since it can't pass anywhere, I'm just waiting for an opportunity to pass. Okay, this car's gonna move over. Let's see if it'll slow down a little bit and brake. It does, because I'm not 3 car lengths behind it. So we're currently still matching speed. We have, okay, both vehicles are getting out of the way, so now it's actually going to speed up. Going to go ahead and go just a little bit faster. Okay, my hands are completely off the steering wheel. It passed all the vehicles. It noticed that there's a spot open on the right-hand side. It has moved over, and it made a successful lane change. I went ahead and disabled the system because I've hit a new speed limit zone, so I'm gonna go ahead and slow down. And it continued to flash red there because my hands were not on the steering wheel, and it could sense that. So now that I'm in a new speed limit zone, I'm gonna go ahead and set the cruise control to the new speed limit zone. Super Cruise is enabled again. Hands are off the steering wheel. We've got some merging traffic on the right here. Let's see if the car go ahead and moves over. Yep, so it's moving over right now. Again, hands off the steering wheel, turn blinker is on. It's merging over. Beautifully done. Okay, let's see if it gets over into the right-hand lane. And every time it's making one of these adjustments, lane adjustments, if it's going left, the left part of the seat cushion is vibrating, letting you know that it's doing that. If it's going right, the right part of the seat cushion is vibrating, letting you know it's merging over to the right. So the whole time the car is kind of talking to you and letting you know what it's going to be doing. Okay, so it did not move back over to the right because, you know, we're still going a little bit faster than the cars in the right-hand lane. So we're just gonna let it do the system, and then once something happens, then I'll kind of talk about it then. Okay, so the car in front of me is in the left-hand lane. It is not going faster than I am. So the car sees that the right-hand side is clear. It's now moving over. Now it's going to speed up. And I wanted to be in this lane anyways because my exit is coming up. So why would you want to use something like Super Cruise? Well, here in South Dakota or in the Midwest, we have just these long stretches of just straight highway, very little turning and everything like that. Anybody who's driven from Sioux Falls to Rapid City, you know what I'm talking about. Like, it's just almost arrow straight for like forever, right? So you set something like Super Cruise, and then it's the one doing oh, see, I don't want it to make this lane change. It was gonna go back over the left-hand side where there's somebody doing a lot slower. So I'm actually going faster than they are. And so the way to cancel that is I just tapped up on the turn signal and it canceled it out. Anyways, going back to what I was saying, where with this system, what you can do is you just set the cruise control, let the car do all the passing for you, and let it do some of the boring parts of the driving, right? Nobody gets stimulated by, you know, a 4.5 hour across the state drive. I'm sorry, you just don't. Okay, so my turn is coming up here, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and hit the brake. It yells at me to get my hands on the steering wheel, so I do. Okay, I've made my turn. I want to go ahead and reset my cruise control. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to hit resume. It goes back into Super Cruise mode, and now we've got 3 lanes of traffic. We've got a semi in front of us, and what it's done is it's going to go ahead and match the semi speed. The semi's moving over, so let's see how it handles this now. Okay, the semi's completely moved over. It's now speeding up. It's now going to get up to the cruise control speed that I set before. Now, what I'm going to do for this last bit is I'm actually going to change this the setting in Super Cruise. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to Settings, then you're going to go to Vehicle, and then you're going to go scroll down until you get to Super Cruise Lane Change. Right now it's on automatic. I'm going to change it to Turn Signal Activated. Now, what that does is Super Cruise will not make a lane change without me telling it to do it. So before, you could still tell it what to do by simply hitting the turn signal stalk yourself, or you could just let it do its own thing. Now, I'm in the far left lane. I'm just gonna stay here until I pass all this traffic, and then when I'm ready for it to move over, it will go ahead, it will check to see if it's safe on the right-hand side, and then it will move over when it is safe to do so. So I'm almost past this Explorer. Once I get past this Explorer, I'm gonna go ahead and turn on my turn signal right now. It's checking. It's gonna go ahead and move over. And thing to notice here is that it only did one lane change. So we're on 3 wide. I was in the far left lane. I am now in the middle lane. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and do another one. It's going to move it all the way over to the right-hand lane. Successfully done. So now we're in the far right-hand lane. But now I see I've got a truck that's going to be merging here, so I'm going to go ahead and move over to the left lane. It's checking everything to make sure that it's okay. We're all good to go. It successfully did that. Now I'm going to go ahead and turn over to the right-hand lane. My exit is going to be coming up here in a second, so I'm going to go ahead and hit the brake and go ahead and get over. And there you go. So 3-4 different cruise control systems that I showed you on the Cadillac here. Like I said, it can sometimes get a little bit confusing, so that's why I wanted to do the video to help people understand the different kind of cruise control settings. And you tell me in the comments, which system do you like the best? Do you like just regular cruise control, no assistance whatsoever? Do you like adaptive cruise control where it assists you a little bit? Or do you like full super cruise where it's doing the lane changing for you? Or do you kind of like the middle one where it will do the lane change for you, but you're the one that has to initiate it? Put it in the comment below. Really curious as to what you guys think. But that pretty much does it for today's video. Let me know what you think. If you want to see more content like this, go ahead and like and subscribe. And like I said, put a comment below on what system you would like best. Hope you guys have a great rest of the day.